Hey, what's good, everybody? My name is Courtney Hamilton, aka Far From Ordinary. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. Um, I just wanted to have an open, candid discussion, even though it's one way right now. I know I'll see a lot of comments. I'll probably stir up a lot of conversation with this video. But this is not rehearsed or anything. I don't just make videos to make videos. I have to be inspired to make videos. Intent to do anything, really, to be honest with you, especially with music. I believe that's an inspired art form, as most art forms are. I guess the beginning is the best place to start. So, wow, I've been doing this for a minute, man. I've been interested in music my whole life, I've always loved music intently. I'm probably gonna have to do a part 1 and 2, maybe even 3 on this video, but I'll try to get in as much as I can, because there's so much information, that I want to share with everybody. But always loved music, knew every song on the radio, could sing every song on the radio. Was a Michael Jackson freak, as everyone was who came up in my area, or my era and my area. My mother was into the arts as well, dance, modeling, stuff like that. My biological father was a photographer, and he was exceptionally talented in that as well. At the time they met, he was in school. I believe he was at the Art Institute. By the way, I am from sunny South Florida, and this is where I'm shooting this video from right now. Let me turn that down, excuse me. I'm in the lab. Facebook going off and all that kind of crazy stuff. But anyway, yeah, so I'm from sunny South Florida. I'm of Jamaican and American parentage. Which makes me a Jamaican. Some of you can relate, some of you can't. It's all good. We all mixed up, all of us, most of us. So, time went on or what have you, and as my interest grew more in music, I found that I had an innate ability when I got around instruments, specifically the piano, to just be able to play whatever it was I was thinking, or whatever it was I heard on the radio, and sing it, Kind of got involved in other things as kids do, sports and stuff like that. I am a bit of an athlete. Love sports, basketball, football, all that good stuff. Working out, health, fitness, holistic lifestyle. I'll get into all that other stuff later. But anyway, we'll fast forward a bit. I started to develop my gift and get involved in different things as far as groups and talent shows and stuff like that, and it became very apparent to me that that was my love. Matter of fact, destiny is something else. I tell you, following your passion is a trip, man. It always leads you in the right way. I was in high school, and I was this close to joining the Marines, because a lot of my family at the time, my cousins and stuff, who I looked up to, because I'm an only child, you know what I mean? So I didn't really have siblings and all that kind of stuff. I had to entertain myself, which is another reason I believe that my gift became what it was, I believe nothing happens for nothing, and everything happens for a reason. So being a product of that environment, I naturally evolved to, like I said, do talent shows and stuff like that, the typical things. I remember being in school when my first music class, piano class, was in like 10th grade, I believe it was, 9th, 10th grade, something like that. And I never really liked classical piano. I appreciate it, don't get me wrong, I love classical music and all that, but the the perceptive, the view that it was taught from was so rigid, it didn't give space for creativity. And the instructor I had at the time, she was very rigid. She wasn't open-minded at all, and I'm a very open-minded person. I'm a Sagittarius, so by my very nature and my sign, I'm a philosopher and adventurer. I love to expand and explore. So to make a long story short, I met some lifelong friends in that class. Matter of fact, shout out to Oliver, man. If you seeing this, if you watching this, Ali the Great, Omega Supreme. It's a bad boy. Alex Poole I met during that time too. Duran Grice, but anyway. So I would always she would always leave us to play and put headphones on, and I would immediately, being the maverick I am, I would immediately, as soon as she left the room, I would take my headphones out of the pianos in the lab, and of course that would initiate the sound from the piano. You could hear it out loud. So I do it, then a couple of my friends do it. We just start playing stuff, and I was into gospel real heavy back then, hip hop and gospel, all that kind of stuff, but really gospel. Just playing all kinds of stuff. Kirk Franklin, John P. Key. God's Property was big at that time, you know what I'm saying, and we would just go back and forth with chords. Oh, this is what I learned, this is what I learned, da da da, you know what I'm saying, and swap chords and stuff. So anyway, man, back to the Marine thing. I remember a recruiter came, because recruiters used to come to the high schools, and a recruiter came and they asked me, you know, would you like to join? You want to enlist? You want to sign up? I wasn't in any ROTC or any of that kind of stuff, you know. I just like sports, track and field and all that good stuff. So anyway, I almost considered it. I think I even took brochures or whatever. And then the second time it happened, I think let me tie this together. My mother met a pastor in her line of work. She was into holistic medicine, and she worked at the Institute of Advanced Medicine, I believe it was. It's down here in South Florida, in Sunrise, the Sunrise Lauderhill area. Anyway, so she met a pastor, Pastor Michael Harvey, and we weren't really going to church at that time. My family, we were on kind of like a church hiatus, if you would, and we went to this church, and you know, I'm trying to fast forward. I'm trying to get all this stuff in it, so I'm giving you the condensed version. But we go to this church, and they were in the praise and worship service, and we were in like this first or second row, no further than the third row, you know, in the pews or whatever. And I remember they were in a praise and worship session. They were in the worship portion of the service, and I remember looking up at the musicians. They were over in the corner, and like I tell you, I always loved music. But at that moment in time, I had it was almost like an endowing. It was, I don't even know how to explain it. I had my eyes closed, and I opened my eyes, and the whole room was like smoky. I figured, you know, maybe there was something in my eye, or, you know, whatever. So I wiped my eyes and, you know, looked again, and the room was still smoky. And when I looked at the musicians, this intense, insatiable desire came over me to learn music on a deeper level, to go deeper. It was almost like God was saying, this is what you're meant to do. And it might sound crazy to some of you. Some of you might relate because you've had a similar experience, but that's what happened. And that very day, it was like come hell or high water. All I wanted to do was make music. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to learn everything about music, especially keyboard specifically. That's my instrument: piano, keyboard, organ. And so much so that that same day I actually went home, and I was my stepsister had a keyboard. It's a funny story, but she never used it. Her mother had sent it for her from New York, and she never used it, and it was just always kind of there. And I never really used that much either. I just, you know, fool around with it. So anyway, we got home from church. I go over to the keyboard, And I start playing this song that they were playing earlier that day. And my mother comes from downstairs, from upstairs rather, and is just like looking at me like, who taught you that? Excuse me. And I said, nobody, no one. And she was just, her jaw just kind of dropped, like, you know, like, whoa, what, you know? And it just felt natural. It felt natural. And it was like, it was so easy for me to hear stuff and just play it and transmute it, you know, or convey it rather into the physical, you know, from concept to reality. And I never looked back from that day. I never looked back. And it was scary because those guys had been playing a lot longer than me. And down here in South Florida, it's different places you go, but especially back then, like, cats were into cliques, and they don't really like sharing a lot of their knowledge. It's kind of like they have this crab in the bucket mentality. You know, they're afraid that if they show you what they got, then you're going to overtake them or surpass them, which is ludicrous. And I'll get into that later, because I don't believe in competition. I believe in creativity. And everything I'm saying, you know, today is subjective. It's subjective to your free will and your opinion and your perception, because I believe perception is our reality, and it's very powerful. Free will and perception are like the common thread that runs through life in general, and is very pivotal to us understanding our life and allowing others to have their own experience. So anyway, we being like rehearsals or whatever, because I joined the choir after that. And let me tie this other thing in. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent. So the recruiters came back and asked me the same question, and it was like I didn't have to think about it. It was just like unconsciously, like second-ish. I was like, nah, I'm good, man. And they were like, but we got bands in the military. You can still play music. I know you like music. And I was like, nah. Close but no cigar. You gotta try again, man. You gotta come harder than that. So it was official. It was official. Music was my course. You know what I'm saying? It was my my thing, my life purpose. So anyway, we'd be in rehearsals and they'd be playing and trying to search for chords, you know, the right chord or the right run or whatever, for these songs. Mind you, I'd never played in a setting, in a professional setting like that or what have you, on that level. And these guys have been playing way longer than me. But I would stay up, like my parents would, on school nights, I'd be up 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, just playing, practicing, playing. It wasn't like I didn't have to force myself. It was just an innate desire. I ate, slept, breathed, lived music. I became music, you know. And wow, just having flashbacks as I'm talking. It's crazy, man. So I'd end up showing them the chords, like, is this what you're looking for? Is that what you're looking for? This would sound good. You could do this variation. And you know, me being younger than them, they were like, who is this little nigga? You know what I'm saying? What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You can't show us chords. You know what I'm saying? We were playing before you. We didn't even know you like that. But let me fast forward that also, that story. So that went from that to me joining the choir, to me becoming a lead vocalist in the choir. And this happened over maybe the course of a year or shorter. This happened fast. It's another way to know if you're doing your life's purpose, if you're living what you are sent here to do, what you incarnate into this planet to do. It's a sure telltale sign. So I went from joining to becoming a lead vocalist, to, I don't know which one came first, but being over the choir director, if you would, responsible for teaching, for those of you who don't know, teaching vocals, harmonies, you know, so forth and so on, or so forth and so on. And then eventually becoming a musician. That's when my professional career started, actually being paid for what I do and realizing that there's actually a career, you know, in this, you know, that I could actually survive off of this. And then from that to becoming the music director over the music and eventually over the entire music department. And And it happened fast. It happened fast. And I learned so much during that time. I've learned things then that I still use till today. Mind you, no formal training, anything like that. I'm not knocking school. I'm just saying this is how it happens for some of us. There's a lot of me's out there. There's a lot of people like me who can relate to this. So found out about these scholarships. They're getting ready to graduate school. Find out about these scholarships. You know, I'm like, I want to do music. I want to do music. I don't know what to do. I didn't really want to be a music teacher. I just wanted to make music, you know. I liked rearranging songs and doing, you know, and fooling with arrangements as far as the musical side of things, and vocally too. I was really good at it, and still am. Just messing with y'all, but yeah. So found out about these talent-based scholarships they were giving out at Florida Memorial University. It was Florida Memorial College at that time, but FMU. Shout out to my Lions, Lion alumni. So Joe Parrish told me about it. Some of you know him from this area. If you're from South Florida, you might know Joe Parrish. So my friend Joe tells me about this. I go out there and I audition. My mother was with me. I'll never forget. I auditioned for a scholarship, and the head of the music department at that time was Dr. Alfred Pinkston. Very pivotal man in my life. Opened a door for me to be able to learn theory, music theory, and meet a lot of great people too. So I played for him. Raw skill, raw talent, no formal training, and he was blown away. He was blown away. And I'm not saying all of this to pat myself on the back or whatever, but I am unapologetically me. You understand? One thing you're going to learn about me if you don't know me is I say what I mean and I mean what I say. You know? And I put in a lot of time and energy into it. It was just, I exuded it. It just came out of me. Like I told you, it's a part of me. It's not something I try to be. I just am. You know? I mean, it's tatted on my frame. I don't even know if you can see that. If you can't, let me show you. Can you see that? It's tatted on my frame, man. You know what I'm saying? I love music. So anyway, blew him away. Next thing you know, I'm in school. Go figure. And I knew how to play, the mechanics of playing, the practicality of it, but I didn't know what I was playing as far as chord structures were concerned, as far as theory, you know, flats and sharps, intervals, relative majors and minors, diatonic scales, pentatonic scales, you name it. You know, and vocally too. I took vocal courses. They didn't really have a big music production department, and I later found out that's what I really wanted to do, was produce music. You know, but all of that stuff, all the little technical aspects of it, and I ate it up. I loved it. I didn't want to do anything but that. I didn't want to do English. I didn't want to do math. That's a whole nother thing with school too. And things are changing now. The consciousness is shifting on the planet, in a lot of things in the world in general, but I hated the fact that I had to go to school, and in order to get a degree in music, I had to do English and social studies and all this other crazy stuff, political science. Why? None of this has anything to do with what I want to do, nor is it relevant to my field. You know, so me being me, I took what served me, what worked for me, what I could get out of it, what I could extract from the experience, and I bounced. You know, after like a couple years, I met some awesome people that I still know today. You know, learned quite a bit, grew a lot, and so back then I was heavy into the gospel scene, man. And I'm definitely gonna have to do a part 2 on this video, because there's so many stories I could share with people that people who know me don't even really know. But went on to meet a lot of people, perform for great people, with great people. Harry Belafonte, Kirk Franklin, Bobby Sparks. Golly, man, I can't even name all the people that I met. It's just too many right now to name. But it was awesome, man. And so around that time, man, I started to become interested, I realized that what I really want to do is produce music. And a good friend of mine, one of the first people I met, Andre Brissett, he's now one of the lead producers over at Aftermath with Dr. Dre. Some of you might know him. He's produced for so many artists. Jesse J. Jesus Christ, man, I can't even think of Tupac. Ride on My Enemies, you know, that's him. Good Lord, Kendrick Lamar. A lot of people. He's produced with, for Alicia Keys, you know, but whatever. But that's my boy, man, Andre Brissett. Shout out to you, man. Briss. So he used to teach me. He said one of the things, like, he had the fattest chords, he had the nicest chords. I was like, man, your voice is so deep, so nice, man. Well, how do you do that? He was like, well, everything you do in your right hand, just do it in your left hand, you know. Teach your left hand to do it. So that's when I started to develop my left hand more and realize the abilities, excuse me, in that, how beneficial that is, especially when you're playing with bands, you know, a live setting and yada yada yada. But yeah, man, so he was into production real heavy. He's like a prodigy, you know. He was ahead of all of us, man. Like, this dude was, I think this dude mastered jazz and classical at, like, I don't even know, at middle school or something. He was in it to win it, and his parents supported him a lot. And that's another thing. If your kids show signs of gifting, of exceptional gifts, or heightened awareness or consciousness in certain areas, push them in that area. It'll pay off. It'll pay off for you. Trust me. Don't be so rigid with your kids and tell them they gotta be a lawyer or a doctor. Open your minds. You know, open your minds. Man, so I realized I wanted to do production, and I always had a knack for just knowing what the next sound was going to be, of bending genres and pushing the envelope, you know. And I could always predict what artist was going to be the next major, you know, thing, if you would. Always had the ability to do that. And people would, you know, some would listen, some wouldn't, but it always turned out right. You know, several occasions. I still do it today. It's a gift. I don't know what more to say about it. It just is what it is, you know. So when I found that out, I started to pursue that, you know, the production route. Whew, man, got out of school, you know, ended up having a couple of day jobs here and there, 9 to 5s, what have you, but never left that love for music. Always was still involved with it, you know. And met a guy by the name of Derek Dixon. Before that, I met a guy by the name of Brayon Isaac. Some of y'all might know him. Brayon is that's my dog, my homeboy. Brayon is responsible for, shout out to Atlantic Records and APG, you know what I'm saying, and Mike Karen for signing my boy. Mike Karen, you made one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life, signing Brayon to your roster. He is amazing. Brayon Isaac. Brayon, let me just give y'all a little background on my boy. Brayon is, the last thing he wrote on was Timber. I believe it's Kesha and Pitbull. Yeah, that's my boy, man. I feel like a proud brother when I talk about my homeboys, man, because they're killing it. They're killing the game right now. You know, we all doing our own things, man. But so Brayon, we linked up at this church down here, Redeeming Word Christian Center, and I found that he shared the same love. I did the same passion. I was still doing like the music director thing, you know. I was still a musician, more so than a producer, you know. And linked up, man, and worked on a project together while we were there too. Their first project that they did at that place, at that church. Met a young lady by the name of Kathy McClary. Shout out to her. Ended up working with her later on one of her projects, and we're doing another single too. I probably shouldn't even mention that's supposed to be a surprise. My bad. Forget you heard that now. I need one of those things from Men in Black. Yeah. So I found that I started to distance myself from a lot of my peers, if you would, who were into the whole clique thing. I was never into a clique because I was so eclectic. My tastes are very eclectic. I don't care what type of music you do. If it's good, it's just good. You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. If it's good, it's good. And I don't care if it's country, R&B, pop, rap, hip-hop, whatever, disco, EDM, dubstep. If it's good, it's good. There's good music and there's whack music in every genre. Okay? So that's that. So anyway, man, a lot of the guys who I was around, they were what you call purists, you know. And all they wanted to do is just gospel music, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, everybody's not meant to be the same. We're all individuals. I mean, we all have different fingerprints. You know, we're all like snowflakes. We're individual, man. And that's what you know, the world is about. The universe is about. It's a constant reciprocity, a constant cycle of give and take, of difference, of change. You know, and I learned that later on, as my consciousness started to raise, you know, about life in general. So anyway, we started to separate. I found that I was just different. I wanted different things. I wanted to understand music on a different level. I didn't just want to learn how to play and play live music. I wanted to go into the studio and learn mixing, mastering, the finer arts of mixing and mastering. I want to be organically and holistically involved with my music because it's an extension of myself. It's not just something I do and then hand over to somebody else to do what they want to do with it. That's just my personal belief. You know, so naturally that caused a separating of the wheat and the tare, if you would. And a few people stuck around, you know. Had the opportunity to work with an amazing, incredible talent, guy by the name of Derek Dixon. Till this day, I don't think I've personally worked with anyone who is vocally, especially when it comes to the vocal side of things, vocal arrangements and delivery. He taught me. I learned a lot from him too, man. We exchanged a lot of knowledge, you know, about the art of delivery as an artist, and being clever in the things that you say, saying things that are maybe cliche in a whole new way, you know, all that kind of stuff. But saying all that to say, you know, things just were really like getting more intense. And so at first I didn't really understand. I just thought, you know, niggas is just hating on me. They just hating on me because I'm different. And that leads me to something. I saw a friend of mine sent me a clip of an interview with Clinton Sparks. Some of you might know Clinton Sparks. He's previously affiliated with 50 Cent. I don't know if he still is, but he was 50 Cent's DJ for a while. Had a show on thisis50.com or whatever, and a bunch of other stuff. But I didn't know how much I had in common with that dude, man. I have such a newfound respect for him. He was basically saying in his interview the same thing I was saying a while ago, that he's very eclectic himself, and found that he didn't want to be pigeonholed. He got tired of doing one type of thing after a while, and so he started to venture into other areas with different things. And he was catching flack for that because a lot of people, you know, in this world, especially the music industry, well, how it used to be, it's changing now quickly. What Beyonce did is just the beginning. You all, this time next year, I don't even know if a lot of people are ready for what's about to happen in the industry. It's about to change damn near completely. Trust me. So anyway, he was saying how people just want to box you in. They always want to typecast you, you know. And they were like, well, this is what you do, you know. Aren't you hip hop? Aren't you rap? Aren't you, you know? And if they hear you doing something else, it's like, oh, well, even if it's good, this was crazy. If it's good, it's like they always find a reason to say, well, I don't think this is your thing. I think you need to stay in your lane. Basically, the responsibility of understanding free will and all that kind of stuff, you know. And there's a lot to be said about that. A lot. basically, like I said, I don't lose sleep over stuff like that. People who have their own opinions, like you can say whatever you want about, have your own opinions about what you feel about me and what I do. I've learned that if you are true to yourself and you stay real and transparent, that you'll attract the like unto yourself. We're always going to have what we call haters in this world, and that's cool. You can hate on me, man. It don't faze me. It doesn't faze me. I don't lose sleep over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's useless to me. It's so useless. You could use that energy to pursue your passion or your gift. What does it really profit you? And it might, I don't know, it might just make you feel good to hate. Some people just like hating. That's just what they do. But I find a lot that those people aren't very creative people. I find that those who have unfounded criticism, criticism that is not constructive, a lot of those people lack creativity. And it's not even that they lack it. They haven't discovered it yet. There's a lot of people who just don't know they have incredible gifts inside of them because they're afraid to venture out. I tell people a lot, you'll never know what's in the ocean if you don't lose sight of the shoreline. You'll never know. You'll always just be subject to what's going on the beach. You never discover any new lands. I mean, hell, people used to think the world was flat, and I can understand, because here's the whole argue for the point that you can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created the problem, or the same mind frame that you were in when you encountered that obstacle. You can't solve it with that. Okay, for instance, they thought the world was flat. If you're standing on a flat ground and you look for as far as your eyes can see, it would seem so, because that's the level you're on. But if you flip that around and you look up at night and you see, look with a telescope, you see planets and you see spherical or round objects in the sky. Say, well, if it's like that out there and we're a part of this, well, maybe this is round too. It just took somebody thinking outside of the box. And I think outside of the box a lot, And so it took somebody thinking outside of the box to say, I'm going to go against convention and say that the earth is round, and that you won't fall off the edge. I mean, it's ridiculous when we think of it now, but there's a lot of people who believe a lot of things, not a general consensus, like there's no cure for cancer and disease in general. All that stuff is utter foolishness to me. I don't subscribe to that because I've taken the time to research and I know otherwise. As far as that's concerned with the whole cancer thing, and I'm gonna cut this video short and do a part 2 on it. But as far as that's concerned, the Max Gershon, or Gershon, if you would, do your research. Research Max Gershon. If you have anybody in your family that's suffering from cancer, cancer-related illnesses, study Dr. Max Gershon and the Gershon Institute. They're doing incredible things and have been. He was doing incredible things since the World War I and II days, where cancer is concerned. There is nothing that's incurable, okay? There's only 2 ways that we get sick by toxicity or deficiency. Getting something that we don't need, or not having enough of what we do need. Toxicity, deficiency. And the 2 states that determine health or illness or disease are alkalinity and acidity. If your body is alkaline, it is virtually impossible for you to become sick or diseased, because sickness and disease, those type of bacteria flourish in an acidic environment. So people who drink a lot of Diet Coke and stuff, I'm not knocking that. Again, I told you, whatever you do, do what you do. If that works for you, then you do what you do. I choose otherwise. That's my choice. You feel me? I don't condemn you for what you do. You do what you do. That works for you. I'm not trying to convert anybody to be like me. I don't want a bunch of clones running around. I like individuality. And and variety. Variety is the spice of life, you know. So anyway, if you watch any of my videos, then I have a lot of content that's going to be coming on this channel. Like I said, I just wanted this to be the first of excuse me, the first of several videos that I'll be doing. And pardon me, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just kind of wanted, you know, wanted to give like a formal introduction of myself. See if y'all can. I'm in the lab, by the way, if you haven't realized that as yet. I am in the lab. So anyway, is this up? I'm sitting kind of low, but yeah, man. So that's what it is. You know, that's what it is. The stuff that I'll be doing, the things that the subject matters that I'll be talking about may offend a lot of people, and that's cool. You don't have to watch the channel. You don't have to listen. You can press stop or pause or whatever, or, you know, change the channel. You know, I'm not forcing anyone to do anything they don't want to do. I'm just offering a different perspective on all things music and health related, because I love music. All aspects of music. I love health, healthy living, holistic lifestyle. I'm not an extremist in any way. I'm not on any one side of the pendulum on anything. You know, I practice balance. My slogan, one of my slogans is balance and progress. And I think of it, you can think of it as like a tightrope walker. People who walk the tightrope, either they don't just walk, you know, walk straight ahead. They use a balance beam, or they use their hands and they balance themselves. But as they're balancing themselves, what else are they doing? They balance themselves so that they can progress forward. So when you hear me or you see me use the tagline balance and progress, that's what I'm referring to. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, I got a lot more to say. I got a lot more things that I will speak about, subjects I will touch, but it's just a little bit about me, the man behind the music. And I think my music will reflect that. My music has changed over time as we change. You know, everything around us changes. So I got some hot new stuff that I'm about to release, that I'm about to do. Below this video should be a host of links. I think even in the upper right hand column of the channel, there's a bunch of links. You could check out my SoundCloud, check out some of the stuff, the things I did. Excuse me, some of my work. Go to the site farfrommusic.com if you are looking to license music in several different formats, because I offer it in a lot of different ways. You can license hooks, you can license full songs, you can license songs with hooks, you name it. Smack it, flip it, rub it down. I do it all, you know. And that's that, man. That's that, you know. So we'll do a part 2 on this. It's getting kind of dark out here. The time of day that I chose to do this video is the time of day down here. It gets dark thanks to daylight savings time. So I'm about to get back in the lab and take care of business, you know, do what I do. And feel free to subscribe to the channel. You know, like the video or hate the video. I don't care. I really don't care either way. You know what I'm saying? If you're down, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. You know, feel free to leave comments, whether you like what I'm saying or you don't like what I'm saying. That's cool. That's fine with me. Either way, I won't lose sleep. But shout out to you, those of you who aren't afraid to chase your dreams and live your passion, and are willing to challenge yourself to be creative and not competitive. You know, and that's what it is, man. Balance and progress to all of you out there in your individual endeavors. I wish you success, nothing but. And I'll see you in the next video. You know what I'm saying? Stop by my Facebook or SoundCloud or the site. You know what I'm saying? Comment, subscribe, chit chat. You can get at me too. You go to the site, there's a number. You can call me. I may answer. If I don't answer, leave a message. I'll get back to you. I am a personable person. I am accessible. That's just me. That's who I am. I'm real. You know? See through. So that's what's up, man. I'm out. It's your boy, Courtney Hamilton. Far from ordinary. Farfrommusic.com. Deuces to excuses.